Hey, what's up, y'all? Um, Nobody's in the stream yet, but I'm just gonna kind of introduce you to kind of me being at home anyway. Hey, yo. So obviously, there's reasons not to leave the house right now. Don't need to get into them, but it just made me think that there's a lot of benefits to being at home. One of those things is you get to organize your life, something that my wife loves doing. You get to do some YouTube yoga, she's super into that. For me, on the other hand, I'm teaching on Skype still. I'm doing video editing on my video series, and I'm enjoying music, listening, playing, and all that sort of stuff. So I thought, maybe I'd try to do this as a regular thing. I think during this whole lockdown, I don't know if you guys know, but in Santa Clara County, where I currently live, we're all encouraged to not leave till you absolutely need groceries and you need to go to the pharmacy or whatnot. So I'm here, I've been here, honestly, being a solo work from home solopreneur, I guess people call it now. But yeah, so I thought, you guys could kind of see a little bit of what I do. And I'll show you my studio, which I've never shown any of you guys yet. So here we go. I'm gonna look at this studio. All right, so I'll start off with the view from when you enter. All right, and so the view is like, boom. This is the current studio. What's up, Isaac? I see you. He's a former student of mine. Hopefully we can start up lessons again while everybody's at home, Isaac. And I'll take you through my studio, kind of one bit at a time, okay? So you walk in, and the first thing that draws your eye is probably boom, 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 crash, crash, snap, snap, boom, boom, tss, tss, okay? I got this drum set along with some of my other gear here in an auction from an art college that was closing down in San Francisco. It was called the Art Institute, and they had a bunch of locations. And I was very fortunate to have heard about this auction because they were getting rid of some nice gear. Obviously, you got to bid on it, and that was very stressful. And picking it up and getting it out of there was stressful. But in the end, it was worth it because I ended up with this cool Tama Star Classic 4-piece kit. And this is a tinier kick drum than what I'm used to. A lot of the rock kick drums from back in the day when I was a teenager, first picking up drums, were 22-inch circumference. I think this one's only a 20. And we got a 14-inch tom. We got a 10. And we got the 12 up here. And this 12-incher is the middle one. I don't really use that one too often. And that's a snare that I'm currently not using. Another thing I got in the auction was this Ludwig Superphonic. What you guys know about this 60s vintage snare here? You guys, if you've ever been in an American music classroom, odds are you've probably seen this guy. And this snare drum is my holy grail of snare drums. Buddy Rich played one at some point, although he was also a Rogers guy, and I think he played some Slingerland as well. But Buddy Rich was my first musical idol, and this snare drum made me fall in love with playing drums and jazz music in general. And I finally got this snare drum. one for myself. I got some 8 customs. I got a vintage kind of like medium dark Zildjian ride. All sign of whatever type it was has faded off. I've got my blackboard where I stand in front of and do videos for my video series. And whoa, what's this? This is a really, really cool poster I got to commemorate my time living in Boston, which was 2 years. And my wife and I went to a Radiohead show at TD Garden. And this is like a super cool Stanley Donwood work of art here. It's kind of like this Grim Reaper dude. Another really, really nice thing from my student. Hey, Pat, if you're watching this, she sent me this, and it's, to this date, one of the nicest things, if not the nicest thing a student has ever done for me. This is a guitar strap, and it is hand-etched and painted. It says my name, and it's got birds and fishes, and they're not weird. And this is an anchor because I've written a song called The Anchor, and she's heard it and she liked it. And for a while we were having a great experience, teacher-student lesson thing. And yeah, I agree, it adds negativity to the space. It's very cool. This is the coolest thing. I've taken this with me to Boston, and I took it back with me, and it's just hanging because this is the dopest thing. Maybe when I do some performances, I'll use it. So that's one part of my studio. This is a P bass. It's a 5-string P bass. I got this when I was in high school. And this P bass is a flame maple. It's a 5-string with a Bartolini pickup, and it's completely passive. There's no battery in there. There's no active electronics. 3 of the knobs are loose and fell off, but it sounds like an absolute monster. This thing is what I use to play my cover of Full Stop. If you guys know that cover I did on my channel, that's the same one. If you don't know, you can watch it. I'm a big fan of, obviously, Tom York and whoever he's playing with. That's an Atoms for Peace poster from the secret show at Club Fay Dodo. And again, same student ripped that off the wall, sent it to me. And this is a new artist I really like. Her name's Yeji. She's Korean American, and she makes dope electronic music. Go check out Yeji. This is an acoustic guitar that my dad just found. Somebody like just gave it to him, and he gave it to me because he doesn't really play guitar. And the first time I picked it up, this is a cool story. The very first time I picked it up, I thought it sounded so warm and so rich that I wrote the song Stay. So my original song called Stay, it's on YouTube. I did a performance of it. It was on this guitar. One of the tuners, not this one, not that side, one of these tuners is bent. You see how bent that is? Just goes to show you guys, it's not about a super clean, futuristic, fancy schmancy guitar. You're very welcome, Beck Covers. And this, yeah, it just sings. This guitar just sings. So I've written a few songs on nylon. Probably my most finished one would be Stay. Hopefully I'll like rework that one for my album. And hopefully this guitar makes another appearance in like a more professional recording setting. I recently put these guys up, these little rack mount things or organizer wall things from IKEA. And this is where I keep my cables, my headphones. I'm very proud of these. I found these for pretty cheap on eBay. Somebody didn't want them. They're Grotto SR325Is. They, if you wear them, everyone can hear what you're hearing. So they're not meant for like being out in public, but when you're at home, oh man, you can hear all the air in every recording when you listen to those. These are what I wear to transcribe music. These are my Sennheiser HD 380 Pros. They close over the ear, and I also use them to like work if I'm like at a cafe or something. And they're really detailed, really, really good. And these are some classic MDR 7506s. You'll see all the people wearing these when they're like recording in studios. They're really cheap and they're really good for mixing. And oh, I have another guitar hook there, but that guitar is currently in there. And my, whoa, look at that. This was, that's a piece of this too. This is my home studio. And I picked up these monitors also from that same crazy school auction. And they're now on risers that I picked up from a store that closed. It was a Barney's, New York, that went out of business. And they were probably used to display shoes or something like that. And I snatched them up, and usually I guess if you pay for speaker stands, you know, or studio monitor stands, they'll be a lot more expensive than what I paid for them. So as you guys can see, I like to save. I'm pretty frugal. So I go and buy used. I buy stuff that people have to get rid of. And then, aren't we all, right? Musicians don't usually have a ton of just cash to spend on everything. This is a pride and joy piece of mine. It is a Universal Audio Solo 610. It's a single channel tube preamp, gifted to me by my very, very good friend and collaborator, Brian Lum. I'm working on his album, and we just finished the first full album sequenced mix of something he's been working on for 6 years. And for 6 years, album better be pretty good, you know, I hope. So I've been the producer wearing the producer hat for that album, and just kind of giving my input and recording a few things on that album. Look for that, you know, hopefully sometime in the next few months. And he gifted that beautiful tube preamp to me for helping him out with the album. He bought it for the album and then gave it to me because he thought I'd get more use out of it after he had 2 kids that totally took over his life, but in the best of ways. This is a crazy, crazy flea market public school address amplifier. These were big in the 60s. It's by Newcombe. It's called a Newcombe H25. And some guy in Visalia, California, his name's Mitch Carroll. Shout out to Mitch. He saw these at flea markets and started buying them because he saw that the tube circuitry was very similar to a Fender Tweed from the 50s. A Fender Tweed amp, if you guys don't know, has that really just hairy, saturated, overdriven tone. And if I crank this guy, you'll hear the crazy, crazy tone that this thing gets. And it's a 112-inch speaker cab there. Can't remember what magnet is in there. Let's see. Let's see, what magnet is that? Can you all tell? Oh, it's a Weber. That's right. Any analog equipment? Well, first of all, for sure, somebody just asked if there's any analog equipment. This is definitely analog. It's 100% analog. Analog, 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 analog. Yeah, for sure. I got some more fun stuff. Whoa, not analog. This is my current pedal board setup. I took off my Voodoo Labs tremolo just because I don't know how to make it stop being noisy. But I got a DOD rubberneck. This thing is amazing. The Big Sky, I can't believe I spent money on this, but one of my students, yo, what's up, Pat? He played a demo on this pedal, and it just blew me away that sound came from a pedal. And like, it's a deep pedal, guys. It's yeah, I don't advocate spending that much money on any one pedal, but you know, I dropped some cash on that one. I did do it on eBay, so I didn't pay full price. Never pay full price. We got the makings of a DAW-less synth studio jam session. We've got a Prophet 08, which I have been learning how to use for the past year. And it is so deep, it represents a billion things that I'll probably never even dream of. I try to listen to James Blake and Tom York and like other famous artists who use it and try to kind of replicate some of those tones, some of those patches, I should say. It's not a guitar. But some of those patches to kind of learn how to do sound design. I had a really cool friend and follower of my YouTube stuff, Don. He's shown me some really cool stuff on how to kind of do some sound design. So shout out to Don. Then I got this guy. I'm not, Prophet 08 is from 2008, Troy. Someone just asked what year is that from. I'm not proud of owning a Behringer synth. I am proud of owning one of the coolest mono synth designs ever. I'm not proud of owning a Behringer synth because, you know, if anybody who follows Behringer, they're kind of not the greatest company. So we'll just maybe not talk about that one, but that's my Model D. And this guy, I'm still learning how to use. It's my Squart Pyramid. It's gonna maybe be the brain of controlling all these things and doing hardware-only analog loops of MIDI. This is my oldest instrument of mine. It's been in my possession the longest, I should say. This is my OM01 Larrivee. It's been on all of my oldest videos and I keep it in an alternate tuning. My Carter Poulsen. My main axe is in there. And this guy is mixing these synths and routing the sound down to, oh, where are all these cables going to? Boom. This Laney acoustic amp. And yeah, that's pretty much this DAW-less setup that I'm kind of trying out and learning how to use. Over here, what's this guy? Oh, this is a John Carruthers no-name Telecaster prototype. Now, I say prototype because John Carruthers, if you guys don't know, he's based in Venice, I think last I checked. He did some really, really famous luthier work. He's worked on all sorts of instruments from very, very, very famous musicians, including Eric Clapton. And, you know, he's actually noted for designing a neck copying machine. It kind of works like a 3D version of like, you know, if you ever go and like get your key copied, that's what he told me anyway. You can copy a neck. Like you have a custom neck, there's a machine that he built that copies that neck into a blank piece of neck. That's ridiculous, right? So he built a couple of them and sold one to Fender. And apparently that's how they use, that's what they use to create Eric Clapton's signature necks. That's pretty nuts. Now, I didn't verify that but I heard it straight from his mouth. John built this prototype Telecaster, and all of his prototype Telecasters later on became thin line versions with the 1972 F hole, and this one is one of the few that he made that is a solid body. This is not a Fender. See, there's no logo. It's a matching headstock with the black on black, but then the black sandwiched pick guard, and it's got the wrong era pickup selector. This pickup selector is not supposed to be on the ashtray bridge with the three-piece brass saddles. These are Seymour Duncan's vintage lead, vintage rhythm. This is almost all patterned after a 1954 Telecaster. And it's definitely not from 1954, but it's like the closest thing. This is a launch pad. I don't really love using Ableton to jam with, but it is kind of handy to have something like this. This was a gift, and it's from my brother-in-law. And yeah, I'm still getting used to it. There's my lecture case. This is another amp that was donated to me by an old friend, and his name's Josh. Thanks, Josh. Will I go back to the tutorials? Well, you know what? Somebody asked me if I'll go back to the tutorials. So obviously, you know, my channel had some tutorials for a long period of time, most of them being Radiohead. I guess I'll answer this question now. I wasn't anticipating on it, but life got in the way. I'll just say that. I bit off a lot more than I could chew, and you know, in just all honesty, starting this series, this video series on music theory and ear training has revealed everything that is wrong with me as as a person, and but it's also been a learning experience in a good way too. It's just really tough to teach music in a way that doesn't rely on standard notation. People who have seen the series know that I don't use sheet music. I don't particularly believe it's the best way to teach music for the contemporary musician, where so much of music is made electronically by people who are non-musicians, non-classically trained musicians. So this latest module, the rhythm module, has taken up so much of my mental energy that I literally cannot think of making a tutorial. The only times I made a tutorial during the time I've been working on the rhythm module have been the times somebody has commissioned me to do it and released it for the public. So the last one I did was the Daily Mail, Radiohead's The Daily Mail. I taught that on piano because someone commissioned it. And everything else that I've been doing has just been all invested into creating this video series. And when it is done, I'm gonna pop a bottle, I'm gonna celebrate, and I'm gonna try to, you know, write a new chapter, turn the page, and not be somebody who is holed up in a dark cave of trying to, you know, prove their own accomplishment and worth to the world. I've realized my series is not me, and I need to just, you know, finish it as best I can and put it out, and it's never going to be perfect, and maybe there'll be other revisions later, but, you know, once the rhythm module is done, what's up, Robert? It's my buddy, Robert. Go buy that reverb pedal, Robert. You know you want it. But yeah, sorry, where was I? Oh, why no tutorials? One day I'll get back to the tutorials when I have more breathing room, when I'm not beating myself up with the, you know, doing my 40 lashes on myself for not finishing the rhythm module in a timely manner. But it's gonna be good, guys. When it comes out, it's gonna be good. I don't say that to hype it up. I say that because nobody else is teaching rhythm online in a way that doesn't involve some form of standard notation or It's very rare to find something like that that's cohesive, but my series is based on Tubbs and the Kodai method, which is just a Hungarian dude a few hundred years ago said the best way to learn music is by using the stuff you grew up listening to as a child. And for him, that was folk songs. In the modern day, we don't have folk songs, we have pop music, right? You know, we have children's songs, we have pop music. So the idea is to learn music by using the music we're already familiar with to understand music. Not dubstep. Robert says dubstep. No, bro. But yeah, that finishes kind of the tour, I think. Here's some mics. I got some of these in the auction. You guys must be surprised how much crap I got from the auction. These are my Octavas. These are what I used to do most of my tutorials back in the day. These two matched Octava MK012s. Brian, sorry, someone was calling me. There's another gift from Brian. It's an MXL 4000. Not sure if he's giving that to me actually. He gave me the Solo 610 from Universal Audio, but I don't know if he gave me this mic. I'll just pretend he gave it to me. And some artwork I did. My best condenser is probably one that I'm borrowing right now. Someone asked me what's my best condenser microphone. My former bandmate and sometimes collaborator Nick, I just appeared on his recently released album. He's letting me borrow a Lawson L47MP2, I think that's called. Why do they come up with such ridiculous names for equipment? It's just not necessary, right? Just call it like the ultimate condenser, and then everybody will like remember that name. But who the heck remembers an L47 MP2? Am I waiting for the new Radiohead album? I don't think anyone would not want to hear a new radio album and expect it, you know, with just, you know, anticipation and excitement. But, you know, I've chosen to kind of fill my life with all sorts of other music that I love, even though Radiohead occupies probably the #1 space in my musical heart. But last two things. Here's my check from Vox. Y'all, if you remember the hidden syncopation video I did, they liked it and they had me consult on their first Earworm series video. They sent me a check for my consultation. Ellen, when we were in Boston and I was missing home, she painted this for me. I love my wife. She's amazing. And I think that concludes this tour, except, oh shoot, there is my beloved Carter Poulsen. It's getting ready to go out. And maybe let's finish up with a few questions. Hopefully I'll do this some more. And what did I say? What do I think about Ed's album? I think Ed's music is beautiful. It's kind of everything I expected. I wish he got an editor for the lyrics. For some of them, some songs, the lyrics I'm not into, not feeling them. What's my old guitar? Larrivee OM01. Thank you, Ronald. That's very kind. And yeah, show your personal songs. I think I will during this crazy coronavirus time. I think I'll play some of my original music. Maybe if I stream again tomorrow or sometime later this week or next week, I'll give you guys a preview of my very first fully mixed song. I learned how to do every single part of it myself. Like, I'm talking guitar, synthesizers, mixing, singing, mic placement, engineering stuff, crazy Ableton stuff. I learned how to do everything myself, and maybe I'll show you guys the current version of that in one of these future live streams. But it's going to be a half an hour now. I'm going to top it out, and this is Warren Music is always at home anyways. Live stream. Maybe we'll do it again. Take it easy, guys, and thank you for tuning in. You can join my Facebook group for aspiring songwriters and producers. Dinner time, Robert. All right. Oh, love you too, Paul. Thank you. Very kind. Join my Facebook group if you want to talk to other people who are just like us. We're all kind of making music and writing music and producing music and just doing it from home. That's my Facebook group. I'm working on a new website for as a home for my series, and there's going to be a forum there, hopefully up and running, for everybody to discuss every possible music nerd thing. And yeah, just hopefully many good things to come. I know you guys probably haven't seen me do tutorials in a while, but hopefully that explanation was why. Rhythm module's not done yet, but it's on the way. I can see the mountain climbing. I'm climbing. So wish me luck, and everybody stay safe, and yeah, just enjoy all that face-to-face human interaction even more than you used to. It's more precious than ever. Okay, so take it all. Take care, and I don't know, it's take it all what? What are you talking about, Warren? Take care and listen to lots of music. All right, take it easy. Bye.